What's up, y'all? We here for the first installment of Chicago Loop. I'm here with my man Griffin, Chicago legend. Been doing this thing, one of the illest MCs in Chicago history and across the country for that matter. And we're gonna start off, we're gonna go into everything from the inception to when I actually met this man. We used to be in the group together, the Freeloaders, me, Griffin, Dirty MF, and man Gimme. So here we go.
Gimme.
What's up, Griff? What's good, bro?
Chilling, man.
All right.
You already know.
Yeah. So you've been doing your thing for a long time, you know, out here putting out music, mixtapes. You done been across the country doing your thing. How long have you been actually recording yourself and writing songs?
Man, for as long as I can remember, really, like, you know, Cisco, my brother, was a DJ, so I was always on that penning songs. Like, the first time I recorded something was over, you know, back in the day, Marc had 12 inches and shit. And if you bought a 12-inch, DJ had 12-inch singles or whatever, but you had like the instrumental, acapella, all the versions of the song.
Right.
So DLC was like my favorite dude still.
Me
probably,
too.
You know what I'm saying?
Me
Still
too.
Probably
No one can do
three
it better.
Forever, but that album was the shit. But they dropped the It's Funky Enough single first, and it had the instrumental on there.
Right.
So like that instrumental that no one could do it better. Like I recorded to all DLC instrumentals, so this was like, I had to be like 9, 10 years old, some shit like that.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was really like, my first recording was recording myself. The first time I thought I was in the studio, the environment was Gravity, my man Gravity.
Shout out to Grav.
You know what I'm saying? We met on 4030, stayed on 4030 at a roommate named Heritage. And Heritage played like horns and shit, a couple instruments, but he had a Tascam 4-track recorder in his room. So the first joint I recorded, I ended up getting Gravity on the hook. And at the time, like, he was a established, you know what I'm saying, underground artist.
He's one of the first cats to get signed out of Chicago.
Yeah, with the
Let's talk about
Down to
sex.
Earth,
And
the sex
the
song,
video
which,
for
which
it.
oddly enough, like then, Gravity do a song called Sex, MTV won't play the video because it's called Sex. But now, look, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just because it's
How
called
the
Sex.
times have changed.
But you could totally like have a whole sex scene
Right,
now,
right.
whatever, and that's all good for prime time. But
Right.
you know, different strokes, different folks. But shout out to Gravity. But that was like the first recording experience, and then after that, it was Stefan, Tony Mays, and Marco, Monkey House. You know,
Right, yeah,
level
out
up
west,
every
right?
time,
Yeah.
level up every time. So yeah, it's
I
pretty
remember that spot. I remember you used to go in and lock yourself in. Everybody come to the studio, and that was
It was a wild spot too, cause like just to put it all in perspective, like, so Spo was from Rubber Room. He lived next door. His roommate was Ravon, who ended up, that's Chief Keef manager. You know what I'm saying? Like Uncle
Yeah.
Ro, Ravon manages
Wow.
Chief Keef. He lived next door to the spot. You know what I'm saying? And then like the who's who of Chicago underground with Spillani's recorded there. You know, Thought 4, all of them. You know what I mean?
right,
Like,
right.
underground Marks or whatever, JP Symmetric. So it was like a interesting spot to be around, influence-wise or whatever. Like all of those dudes kind of branched out and still ended up doing something in music 20 years later. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you know, that's Chicago old school shit. A lot of niggas don't know about them stories.
Yeah.
I said the Monkey House, Gravity Studios, like, we fucked that studio up, G. Like, it was unintentional, but like they stopped recording rappers for like 10 years after a session. We had a session, it was Cyanide. We was like all shorties,
Right.
16, 17, whatever.
Now, who are the members of Cyanide, the original members of Cyanide?
Shit, it's like, it's too many original members, but
The
it's
core.
Rhyme Fest, Jagani, 2, Memo, Woody, OGN dudes, Snuggie, Pie.
Shout out to my man Pie too.
Cyanide was an interesting little conglomerate on some Chicago Wu-Tang.
Right,
almost,
right,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? But it was like,
That's why I said the core, because it was so many.
it was so many.
So
it was
many
ridiculous.
people that was involved with that, but it was the core. You know, it was maybe 8 or 9 members that was really there in the inception and really brought that Cyanide. Like, that's a name that you can go anywhere in any hip hop circle, they know who Cyanide is.
in the city, just because we was on, like, that was when rap was real sport. You know what I'm saying? It was like more sport. So we was like, we was the Smashers. We was like the British Bulldogs in the WWF
Right,
or something.
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was always a cage match when you're dealing with Cyanide. Like, that was just, we took it that serious. You know what I'm saying? Where rap and bars or whatever, it's more so like the dance crews and shit is now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like everybody want to dance and all the show, but before it was like niggas be clicked up on some rap shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we got 20 dudes that'll serve any 20 dudes. Or
Right.
we got 2 dudes that'll serve 20 of your dudes. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Like however
Exactly.
it need to happen. So yeah, that was a
Exactly.
dope time in Chicago. But the battle circuit is not what the battle circuit was. Like, it exists now, and it's now like they got sponsorships and corporate shit or whatever, but like it's now like written, prepared lines, you know what I'm saying? You know your opponent a month in advance.
Right,
I'm finna
right.
go Google this nigga, write down all this little, it
Right.
wasn't like that. Like, if I'm finna battle a nigga, like I just
I don't
met
know
this
you.
dude,
I don't
right?
know
I
you.
just met
I don't
this
care
nigga
who
right
you are.
now.
You getting served.
Like, the major skill as far as we was concerned was
Right.
like, it's like not the rhyme itself, it's being able to put it together like that.
On the
You know what I'm
spot.
saying? And it's dope, and it made sense, and this nigga is in time to the measure of the beat. You know what I'm saying? Where
Right.
now it's like, it's a cappella, there is no beat. Niggas be like, yo, hold on, between lines and
Right.
shit. You know, where
Why
there's
they
like,
tryna-
there's
tryna
no
compute,
cohesiveness.
right.
Not even that, they just trying to like calm you down so they can remember the line they had written.
Right. And that's the thing. A lot of battles now, alluding to what you were just talking about, anytime I see what's supposed to be a battle, and whether it's the guy that's rapping, his crew, and they're finishing the lines for him, or people in the crowd know the song, that's not a battle that's not a freestyle to me. Where the freestyle was when we was coming up was I can anytime on the spot rhyme. Period.
Off the top of
You know,
off the top.
period. It wasn't, I wrote something to a different beat from the beat that I had tracked it with. That's what it is
So
now.
as far on the street battle shit, but it was sometimes like you get in a competition level where some of those dudes had some prepared lines, but they didn't have prepared verses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it may be some
You
go-to
had punch lines,
like
right.
yeah, some like I always pull this out because the crowd,
Right.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just shit like playing sports. You know what I'm saying? You got a sweet spot on the floor, or
Right.
you might go. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to hit that sweet spot. I ain't mad at that shit, but I'm not
No
mad at
doubt.
the shit at all. It's
No
just
doubt.
different. Where it's,
Yeah.
you got a whole prepared verse that's a battle rap, or a nigga really going off the dome with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's still equally as potent. Like that's where you're losing, where more people get into the game that probably shouldn't have been because they couldn't do it on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's my only issue with it, but it's all good. Like
Yeah.
I like the fact that hip hop is expanding and it's in more places.
Right.
And you can get these corporate sponsorships and niggas can go and make money doing this shit
Right.
or whatever. Like that shit.
At least you're doing something positive and constructive.
That shit's dope to me. That's all good. I don't have no issues with that shit. I'm not saying that shit's whack. It's just different. It's levels to that shit, and that's just a different level of this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the man Griffin, he's still in the game, and I do a different game now with, with my talk shows and writing the films and stuff like that. So I'm gonna say it. I think a lot of this shit is whack as hell. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a lot of these people have talent. I'm not just talking about rappers. I'm talking about a lot of stuff across the board. It's just a lot of people that just get on by pretending that there's something that they're not. And I think that takes away from the validity of the art form. If you
And
are
that's being allowed now, which is retarded. Like
Exactly.
It's being allowed to happen. It's being accepted. Like now, if I go and bang on some niggas for being whack, pause. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I go bang on niggas for being whack and shit, I'm a hater.
Exactly.
Like you can't just be whack. Like I have to be a fucking hater. Like
Exactly.
you just can't be garbage. Like nothing's garbage now.
Right.
If a nigga, let him get his money, nigga,
Right.
that's the worst
Right.
excuse ever. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Going into that, what is your take on as far as why the level of competition has depleted completely? My take on it is that everybody want to be fucking friends. Everybody, you can make a song, bubblegum in the dish, and you got Drake, Lil Wayne,
Might
Nicki
hop on it, or
Minaj,
they gonna
and
reference that
all these
shit,
people
or-
are on it. So nobody can say that it's whack because they're on the song and they participated in it. Where it used to be where it was squads, it was Wu-Tang, it was Rockefeller, it was
Def Squad,
it was
yeah.
Def Squad, it was Death Row. You know what I'm saying? It was everybody. So if Rockefeller make a hot ass song, then somebody else gonna be like, shit, we gotta step our game up. That shit was dope as hell. But now I see that, in my opinion, that's how I see it. And everybody is just friends. There's no competition. You can't raise the bar when everybody is playing on the same plane.
It wouldn't be good for the NBA.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna
Like-
block his shot because
like
he's
I
my
told- We was
friend.
talking about this before when I said the Michael Strahan.
Right,
the
with Brett
breaking
Favre.
the sack, like Brett Favre gave him the sack, dude,
Right.
just let him sack him. Like, that's not, I don't want that sack, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I ain't get it to be able to do that,
Right.
I don't want that sack. You know what I'm saying?
That's so you've been in the game basically since from the 90s to 2000
I've been through
to
the whole-
after the 210.
Quick Twitter story, he was, Scarface was looking for beats, doing a new album, you know what I'm saying? And he tweeted that out. So I told him I ain't had no beats, but I sent him some music through the little link he put up.
Okay.
A couple weeks went past and he called my phone. Like, I ain't answer the phone because it was a Texas
Right.
number, you know what I'm saying? Be screening that, you know how
Right.
that go. And he shot me a text. He was like, this face. I was like, face who? Like, what? Then he called me. I still couldn't believe it, you know what I'm saying? But we
Right.
talked for a couple hours, and it was just tripped out, like having a conversation with Scarface, and he playing like music I sent him in the background.
Word.
Like, tripping off of it, like
Dang.
boycott, a couple of joints, but it was just surreal, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you
Just
shot him B boycott?
Down the ride, flow formaldehyde. This shit sounding like real life. Blow a hole in a mountainside, touch water and make steam. I'm hot as burnt jerk. Birds chirp to my word work. This worth earth. I inhale perp, and perps get murk. Burp, exhale hell. Lurk like a demon in church. I'm perched atop the. What up? What up? What up?
Hey, that's one of my favorite cuts. I remember we was out in Cali. Came out to Cali for the Black Ice project with
Yeah.
Ice-T and Black Silver. Shout out to both of them.
Yes, sir.
And man, we was in the studio, Bionic Studio, and we was getting the show together. You remember we was getting the show together. We had just got in the studio. What studio? Inglewood?
In Inglewood,
Right.
California, yes, sir.
Right. We was getting the
Shout
the
out
show.
to Hyde Park Avenue.
Right, for sure. We was getting the show together, putting together, and he just played me a song, Be Boycott. And while he was playing it, he wasn't even planning on doing it. And what was this, 2008?
Yeah, this was 2008.
2008?
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
a minute ago.
Right. And the man was playing the song and he was performing the song while he was doing it. We sitting in the studio. I'm sitting in this shit like I'm in the crowd watching the man perform. The shit was so ill and it touched on so many topics that was relevant then and relevant now.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm like, dude, you
that-
gotta.
B-boycott, that's like the, I don't know if just from artist perspective, but that's like, while I was recording that song, like when I laid the verse, and when I was done, I played it back, like, niggas started crying. I ain't even gonna lie about this shit, like a tear. Tears
Hey.
was coming, like that shit was some crazy shit where I was just like,
Man,
what the fuck? But that record led to like, when Scarface heard it, he's like, oh shit.
'Cause when
and
I
he hit
heard
me
it-
based off that, just on some like, hey man, like, whatever you doing, like I wanna kinda, you know, put my name behind whatever it is you're doing, because I believe in
Right.
what you got cracking, and you know, from there, shit, here we are, like, you know,
Okay.
that's my aunt.
Yeah.
Fuck with them heavy, you know what I'm saying?
And what's the new project you got out? You got a joint dropping today, right?
The new shit, All In It dropped this week. The new single with GLC, that shit's on iTunes and Google
Shout
Play.
out to GLC.
Produced by Bionic. But yeah, All In It, that shit just hit this week. It's doing pretty good and shit. I'm getting good reviews on that shit.
Where can they download it?
That's everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, that shit. All of your
Cop that.
all
Do
your
yourself a
providers and
favor.
Shit, it's everywhere. But Reanimated EP, May 5th. But one of the dudes that was there is Doug Infinite, who, you know, he fuck with Calm, fuck with all them shit. So I'm not around for this point, but we get off stage, Doug come up to you, and he's talking to you, I'm talking to somebody else, whatever, man. He
Yeah.
says to you what?
He says to me, man, that shit was dope, man. Y'all killed that shit. Woo wop the bam. Man, how that hook go again? So me on some goofy shit, not peeping it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, you know what I'm saying, in the
Spit on
whole
the hook and
thing.
shit. Now, after the motherfucking, all that shit happened, he tell me, oh man, that nigga Doug Infinite was like, I was like, oh shit, that's dope. He fuck with Dion. That's No ID and commenting him and shit. So
Right.
That's dope and shit, whatever. Nigga, I'm listening to HBK like 8 months later. HBK is on shit. Everybody in Chicago knows. Shout out to HBK, JP Chill, all them Pugs Adams and shit. But I'm listening to HBK, and they like, yo, we got this new Common joint from the new album. He was about to put out One Day It'll All Make Sense album and shit.
Right.
we got this new Common joint with Doug Infinite. We finna play that shit in a minute. Da 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 da. Like, cool. The record come on. It's my motherfucking hook, G.
Dissected like a motherfucker.
One too many niggas. I'm like, nigga, are you fucking kidding? So I hit Spark. Hey, dude, hey. I'm like, the nigga that said, that was talking, like, that was Doug Infinite, right? He like, yeah. I'm like, this nigga done took this shit to Com, G.
It stole our hook. All right, y'all. That's going to conclude the interview with the immortal Griffin, Chicago's finest, one of Chicago's finest.
Shit was dope. Thanks for having me, cuz.
No doubt, no doubt, fam.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
video come out, man. Let's get it on here.
Man, the video gonna be on here, but quicker than that, nigga, we finna get into these films, G. I'm finna start knocking some of these movies down. Like, that shit is what's on deck next, beyond the music. Like, multimedia, man, content providers. That's really
what I do.
That's what we do. So,
Yes, sir.
We got mini films coming. We got videos coming. We got visuals. We got all kind of shit. And it's hella music always on deck. Know that shit. And yo, grab Scarface, Deeply Rooted. That shit about 3 months out, man. You know.
Support.